September 25, 2025, for 05 p.m. local time, Southern Caribbean Sea. Inside the Combat Information Center of the USS Gravely, a radar operator freezes. A fresh contact has just popped onto the SPY-1D radar display. At first, it's just a green echo, but its speed vector tells a story. A Venezuelan patrol boat, Guaiquerí-class, pushing west but angling straight toward the destroyer. The call goes out immediately. New surface contact, bearing to 110, range 29 nautical miles. Closing. On the bridge, officers glance up from their charts. They know the coordinates by heart 30 miles off Venezuela's coast, outside territorial waters, inside international law, but also inside a danger zone that's been heating up all month. Just 3 weeks earlier, U.S. forces carried out kinetic strikes on Venezuelan smuggling vessels, suspected of hauling synthetic opioids bound for the Caribbean. The images spread fast-flaming wreckage, burning holes on open seas. Caracas answered not with silence, but with muscle. Naval patrols doubled. Jets flew low over U.S. destroyers. State TV showed commanders promising to defend sovereignty. Now that rhetoric has a shape, steel engines, and a patrol ship tearing across the horizon. Without a word, the CIC operator updates the logbook. Closest point of approach, 3 nautical miles. Time to CPA under 12 minutes. The number lands heavy. 3 miles is nothing for 2 warships bristling with sensors and weapons. But at that range, a single turn of the helm or one misread signal could be mistaken as hostile intent. The Gravely's captain doesn't wait. Orders fire down the chain. Maintain row. Get every system watching. Hail them now. The clock is ticking. 11 minutes until steel meets steel or discipline wins the day. The USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, slices through the Caribbean at a steady 15 knots. She carries the full weight of an Aegis warship, SPY-1D phased array radar, advanced combat systems, and more firepower than any regional navy can match. But in this moment, none of that matters. What does matter is a small patrol vessel on an intercept course. The CIC tags the radar blip as track Sierra 214. Profile and heading match a Venezuelan offshore patrol vessel at 2,300 tons. It's no toy. The contact's automatic identification system, EYES, is silent. Not unusual for military craft, but combined with its aggressive angle, it's not a good sign. The Gravely's operations officer checks the CPA calculations again. The track is closing fast. Current projection, 3.1 nautical miles. Time to CPA, 10 minutes. On the bridge, the officer of the deck radios down. CIC, confirm international waters status. Yes, sir. 30 nautical miles from the baseline. We are well outside territorial waters. That matters. Under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, territorial seas extend 12 nautical miles from a state's coast. Beyond that lies the exclusive economic zone, where resource rights exist, but freedom of navigation is guaranteed. Gravely is not intruding. She is operating legally. But legality doesn't stop steel from colliding. The captain orders the first hail on Channel 16, the international bridge-to-bridge frequency. English first, unidentified Venezuelan naval vessel. This is United States warship operating in international waters. You are closing distance at high speed. Alter course immediately. CIC waits for the reply. Second hail, this time in Spanish. Still nothing. The silence is worse than hostility. At least hostility you can measure. Silence leaves everyone guessing. And in naval encounters, guessing gets dangerous. Then the update. Sierra 214 increasing speed. 12 knots to 22. Repeat, 20 to knots. Bearing unchanged. Intent appears deliberate. That changes everything. Merchant ships don't jump 10 knots in under 2 minutes. This is a push. The captain steps onto the bridge wing, binoculars raised, scanning the horizon. Nothing visible yet, but radar paints the story clearly. The contact is closing hard. CIC updates. Closest point of approach now to 0.6 nautical miles. Time to CPA, 7 minutes. The destroyer's crew runs through procedure. Row isn't classified as common sense built into doctrine. Warn. Show presence. Prepare to respond. Each step is measured, deliberate. Recorded. Electronic warfare operators bring the SLQ-30 to online, logging every emission from the contact. If the Venezuelan ship so much as pings Gravely with fire control radar, alarms will trigger instantly. For now, it's only low-power surface search sweep watching, but not threatening yet. Deck lookouts report faint exhaust haze on the horizon. The patrol ship is pushing its diesels hard, funnel smoke rising against a backdrop of darkening clouds. On the mess decks, word spreads fast. Sailors pretend to keep eating, but their ears are tuned to the 1MC. Everyone knows the pattern. Silence on the radio. A ship accelerating. This isn't innocent passage, it's pressure. And the context makes it worse. Just 2 weeks earlier, Venezuelan K-8 lot attack jets buzzed over a U.S. destroyer in the same waters, dipping low enough that pilots could make out sailors on deck. No weapons carried, but electro-optical pods recording, radars painting a deliberate show of force. Now it's happening at sea level. On Gravely's stern, the MH-60R Seahawk's rotors begin turning. The message is clear. Venezuela wants to close distance. The US is answering, not with weapons fire, but with eyes in the sky. 7 minutes to CPA. The window is closing fast. A thump echoes across the destroyer's steel deck as the Seahawk spins up, its twin GE engines spool. Rotor wash whipping salt spray across the stern. Sailors in cranials and float coats crouch low, signaling with green wands. The order is crisp presence, but not provocation. The Seahawk lifts clean off the deck, banking wide to starboard, staying clear of the Venezuelan patrol ship's direct line. Inside the cockpit, the pilots focus on maintaining a visible but non-threatening orbit while the sensor operator powers up the MX to O-flirt under the nose dot in CIC. The feed comes online. Infrared imaging blooms across the screens. Every frame is time-stamped, geotagged, and stored. Evidence not just for the captain's log, but for Washington, and if necessary, the United Nations. Then comes the next signal, the green laser pulse. Non-lethal and highly visible, it splashes across the Venezuelan bridge windows. Not a weapon, but an unmistakable warning. We see you, and we're watching. On the Venezuelan deck, sailors shift uneasily. Some stand near the Otto Melara gun, helmet on. One figure raises binoculars toward the hovering Seahawk while another gestures with both arms. Whether a wave or defiance is unclear. CIC notes every movement. Personnel visible, no weapons trained, gun covers off. Behavior assessed as posturing. The Venezuelan ship responds in kind. Its surface search radar paints both the destroyer and the Seahawk. A low-power sweep, deliberate, not fire control yet. The line between watching and targeting is razor-thin dot from the Gravely's bridge. The captain keeps his voice steady. Maintain orbit. No overflight. Document everything. The Seahawk circles once more, deliberately wide, making sure its Navy markings are impossible to miss. Cameras keep rolling. Every second adds weight to the US case. We warned. We showed presence. We stayed professional. It's a game of nerves. Venezuela push is close. The US answers with visibility. No shots, no collisions, just surveillance and unmistakable pressure. At for 16 p.m. The Venezuelan patrol ship finally blinks. Its wake shortens, bow lifting less as engines throttle back. Speed falls 20 knots, then 18. A shallow turn to starboard follows, pulling its track just off Gravely's bow. Not a retreat, but no longer a direct intercept either. CIC confirms. CPA increasing now for 0.2 nautical miles. Contact altering course. The radio crackles at last. In Spanish first. US warship. This is Venezuelan vessel on sovereign patrol duty. We are operating near Venezuelan waters. The captain wastes no time. His reply, firm and measured, Venezuelan vessel. This is United States warship Gravely. We are conducting lawful operations in international waters. Your unsafe maneuvers have been recorded. For a moment, silence again. Then nothing more. No threats, no further claims. Just the steady churn of diesels and the widening gap between two hulls. Out over the ocean, the Seahawk maintains its orbit just a little longer, documenting the course change. Zooming in on Venezuelan deck crews now stepping away from the forward gun. Hands visible, posture relaxed. The message is landed. By for 20 p.m. CIC reports CPA extended to 5 nautical miles and growing. The Venezuelan contact steadies on a parallel course, still shadowing from a distance, but no longer forcing confrontation. The destroyer's captain orders the Seahawk home. Rotor blades whine as the Hello arcs back toward Gravely's stern. Recovery crews move into position. No weapons fired, no collisions, just another tense chess move at sea, where presence and discipline did all the talking. Incidents like this don't happen in a vacuum. The Venezuelan patrol boat's bold approach was not random, and the USS Gravely's calm response was no accident. Both moves fit into a bigger game playing out in the Caribbean. Just 3 weeks earlier, on September 2nd, U.S. Southern Command confirmed multiple kinetic strikes against Venezuelan-linked smuggling boats. These vessels, suspected of carrying synthetic opioids and cocaine, ignored repeated warnings before being destroyed at sea. It was a rare public acknowledgement of lethal interdiction, and it sent shockwaves through Caracas. State media condemned the action as aggression in international waters. Washington framed it as law enforcement against organized crime. The immediate aftermath saw Venezuela push back hard. Naval patrols surged beyond their usual coastal patterns and probed deeper into international lanes. On September 10th, Venezuelan K-8 jets conducted deliberate overflights of a U.S. destroyer, flying low and slow, recording every move. No shots fired, but the message was unmistakable. We see you, and we can pressure you, too. The September 25th encounter with Gravely fits neatly into that pattern. It's Venezuela's doctrine of asymmetric presence: create friction, test boundaries, and generate headlines without sparking outright war. Their patrol ship lacks the firepower to challenge an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer head-on, but they don't need to. Instead, they maneuver close, force tense moments, and remind both domestic and international audiences that they're not backing down for the US. The playbook is equally deliberate, professional, predictable, documented. By logging every hail, every maneuver, and every radar sweep, the Navy builds a rock-solid evidentiary record. Every second of FLIR footage, every transmission is potential proof in diplomatic arenas. It shows restraint without showing weakness, an approach designed to prevent escalation while keeping the upper hand. And make no mistake, escalation is always lurking. At CPA under 3 miles, a misread signal or accidental course change could have triggered a chain of decisions nobody wanted. That's why discipline is the U.S. Navy's most valuable weapon in these waters. The broadest stakes go beyond 1/10 afternoon. The Southern Caribbean is a hub for narcotics trafficking routes, contested fishing grounds, and symbolic sovereignty battles. Every intercept, every patrol feeds into a larger cycle of deterrence and defiance. This time, it ended with a course correction and a comms exchange. Next time, the risk may be higher. So here's the big question for you. Should the US respond more aggressively to Venezuelan patrols when they cut it this close? Or is comm restraint the smarter weapon in these waters? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I'll read every single one. And hey, if you found this breakdown valuable, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more real-world naval encounters, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. If you want to take it a step further and support our channel directly, please join the fleet. You'll get loyalty badges, priority responses, and you'll be helping us bring more true maritime stories to the surface. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay safe, and remember, when a patrol boat plays chicken with a destroyer, it usually ends up as the world's most expensive game of bumper cars. See you in the next one.